Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the time capsule opening ceremony. There's been a lot of anticipation for this. We've set the fire alarms off at the police department several days in a row, so I know the fire department's ready for us to open this as well. But this doesn't just belong to the police department. This belongs to the community of Murfreesboro, and it was placed here by the Rutherford County Historical Society 44 years ago. And if you think about 44 years ago, Murfreesboro was a town of 26,000 people. Murfreesboro has added 100,000 people since this time capsule was sealed 44 years ago. And we're so excited to get to open this today. And we hope we don't have a Geraldo moment. We hope that there's no crime scene evidence in here. But I really think that there's going to be something special in here. And so I just want to welcome everybody today and thank you all for coming out. And ask Chief Durr to say a few words.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out, just like Sergeant Evans did, and I have to thank Sergeant Evans for his motivation. He's been really excited about this project and wanting to get this done before we move out of the building. So if there's anything that's negative in this box, we have no idea, but it'll be Sergeant Evans' fault. So with that.
All right, next we're going to welcome Frank Caperton from the Rutherford County Historical Society to come up and say a few words, and then we're going to get to business.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I mean, we've been blessed with a fantastic morning. Now, believe it or not, I was alive in 1973. I know I don't look that old, but I can imagine what's in there. In fact, I am very anxious and very proud to be president of the Rutherford County Historical Society. Is there anything else I should say before we break this thing open?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hit it with this guy, or what do you think?
Yeah, so I think it's this one.
Oh, I thought it was in there. I am not a carpenter. Let's get it started here. This didn't come from Evergreen Cemetery, did it?
Smells old.
Well, let's get started. Let's see.
You just want to hand it to me, I'll put it on display.
Peggy Cranker lost a golf ball in here. MTSU Midlander, 1969. Minnie Pearl's first hat? It doesn't say. No. The chief would look good in that. Chief? Oh, looky here, looky here. Let's see. September 27th, 1973, the Rutherford Courier. And the headline is, Mayor Ridley and 3 commissioners seek re-election.
Let's see, Frank.
Murfreesboro Bank and Trust. Well, it's a brochure from June 30th, 1973. The chairman was Jack Weatherford. A brochure from, or maybe a calendar, hold on. Nope, it's a brochure from a 74 Cadillac. And I don't see a dealership listed. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Oh, and got to have a 74 Lincoln in there as well. This is an album. For some of you young folks, this is what an album cover looks like. Ira Carpenter, the Squire of Country Comedy. Oh, let's see. I don't want to open that here, but this appears to be, I don't know what this is. It has nails in it. Mr. and Miss Buford Boyd Johnson.
Oh, that's Lillian Johnson.
Lillian Johnson. She's written a few books. We have, this says Middle Tennessee State College, 1961, the first 50 years. So I'm assuming this will be a book about the first 50 years of what we call MTSU now. Oh my, this looks like a collection of information on Murfreesboro's mayors. I see a list of mayors. I think we have something like this in our collection at the Rutherford County Historical Society. Let's see. This says 1972 annual report, Tennessee Valley Bank Corp, but it looks like Commerce Union's logo. So I'm assuming, yep, that's what that is, Commerce Union Bank.
Frank,
yes,
this
sir?
is to the person who opens the box, and that's you.
Oh, well.
This could be important.
Well, it's a two-page letter from Mayor Westbrook. I think I should read this.
I think so.
It says, to the opener of this box from Mayor William Hollis Westbrook's greetings. You have just opened this box in which we have deposited certain artifacts, articles, and mementos which are in their way descriptive of the year 1973. I think it would be amiss if I did not relate to you some of the conditions of the present time. The population of the city of Murfreesboro is 30,000. 30,000. The city government is what is known as city manager form of government, and is made up of a council composed of 6 council members and the mayor. The council sets the policies which are carried out by the city manager. We have a police force made up of 40. Kyle, how many do we have now in MPD?
Oh my goodness, 255?
So from 40 to 255. The tax rate for the year, oh boy, the tax rate for the year 1973 is $1.82, and the rate for 1974 increased to $2.40 per hundred. This change reflects requirements made necessary by the constitutional change going into effect, which is generally referred to as Question 3, voted by a referendum in 1971. A new federal highway system known as the interstate has just come into being, and Murfreesboro has for about 1 year been served by I-24. Murfreesboro now has 120 miles of streets, and the area covered by the city is 16 square miles. I think we're up to 55 square miles now. See? And 650 miles of roadway, according to Councilman Smotherman. For some 25 years, we've been getting industrial plants in the area. Before that time, Rutherford County was an agricultural area and had no industry of which to speak. Page 2. This marks a drastic step in handling alcoholic beverages such as whiskey, wine, and beer. A referendum was held last year, and legal liquor was voted in by about 1,000 vote majority. It's being sold from 6 stores known as package stores, which are operated by private enterprise. Heretofore, the highly sought-after beverage was distributed by bootleggers. I understand that this type of businessman has not entirely disappeared as of yet, since there seems to be some who desire not to publicize their habits. Inflation is strongly felt in our economy. Prices are skyrocketing on nearly every commodity. Predictions of shortages in food are being made. A fuel shortage scarce is beginning to abate somewhat. You think about that with the Arab oil embargo, I think, of 1973. A national campaign to link cigarette smoking with lung cancer has all but failed. Has all but failed. Cigarette manufacturers continue to roll up gains in sales each year. The use of drugs has become common and is causing a great deal of concern. Some things never change, do they? The police are being kept busy hauling in those caught with drugs in their possession. Styles in clothing, this should be fun. Styles in clothing are undergoing drastic changes. Women have started wearing breeches it says, boots and wigs. Lost my place. The blonde you saw yesterday may be a brunette today. Many of the males have not been to the barber shop in 2 years, and you can't tell who is to whistle at. The kids are trying to look like old folks, and a senior citizen is likely to look like a Christmas tree. Great emphasis has been placed on housing during the past decade, and the city has promoted 3 housing projects which are consist of tearing down the substandard dwellings and replace them with modern units. Time was not too far back when only the affluent could afford indoor plumbing, and the majority of homes had somewhere on the premises a 1 or 2 holer, which served very well. If you didn't know any better, to tell the truth, they had difficulty housebreaking the mayor. That would be Mayor Westbrook. Here's wishing for the old hometown a happy and prosperous future. Signed, W.H. Westbrook, Mayor of the City of Murfreesboro. Let's see what else we have is here. A copy of Southern Living, July 1973. Susan Daniel, would this be an apothecary bottle? Because it has, so it looks like some Band-Aids, a nail, a crayon, appear to be Buckeyes, and some acorns. This is, oh my goodness, Playin Cards. I'm assuming they're playing cards. Hold on. Playin Cards. It says Byrne, B-Y-R-N, and I believe Mike Kidd was at Byrne Roberts car dealership.
Yep.
Never been opened, by the way. Oh my goodness. This is a prayer book from evangelist John R. Rice. John R. Rice. One of our roads named after Brother Rice. For you King Edward cigarillo smokers, it's empty. Oh. Looky here. I'm holding this one with 2 hands. The bottom. Oh, you're right. Bill Shacklet mentioned. Well, too bad it says manufactured or bottled in Nashville.
Oh.
Oh, one of my favorite things as president of the Rutherford County Historical Society are newspaper articles. This one is dated March 19th, 1972 from the Daily News Journal. It's talking about the history of our incredibly historic courthouse. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh my. A phone directory from Southern Bell and Telegraph Company, Murfreesboro, Eagleville, Smyrna, Bradeville, Fosterville, Las Casas, Milton, Reedville, Rockvale. Let's see what year it is though. This is from Roy Tarwater. We have pictures of him at the Historical Society. And it don't see a year, but we'll find it. This is a income tax service from, I can't see. Oh, there it is. Al Byers, B-Y-E-R-S, Al Byers. To Miss Shirley Cheney, City of Laverne. Let's see what's in here. I'm not going to read the entire letter for time's sake.
She wrote a history.
She did write a hit, sure did. And here's a funny thing, Miss Susan Daniel. I just put some article up about A.C. Puckett, and there he is on the letterhead. Commissioners Vester Waldron, A.C. Puckett, C.A. Cheney, David Boland, City Attorney. Let's see here. Official vote of Rutherford County General Election, August 4th, primary, December 12th. Oh, wow. The Goodspeed histories of Murray, Williamson, Rutherford, Wilson, Bedford, and Marshall counties, all of Tennessee. And this is donated by Mayor Westbrooks. Goodspeed did a lot, in 1971, Goodspeed did a lot of history books. The Rutherford County Square Dancers. Oh my.
That would have been Steve Case.
Now, I'm looking for Councilman Smotherman, but I don't see his picture in here. This is the 39th anniversary banquet, guest of Dr. John R. Rice. This is a metal plate. It says AACA National Spring Meet, Middle Tennessee. This is a antique automobile thing. More letters. This one is from Clerk and Master Ben Hall McFarland to the officials of Rutherford County. I get the feeling this is like the vote results from that year, since he was the one to certify that. Same there. History of Senior Citizens, 1962 to 1973. Let's see. Guarantee Federal Savings and Loan Association. Who of us are old enough to remember the old savings and loans? It shows you can make 5% on your regular passbook savings. Are they still in business? 5% in 1973. We have two business cards. One is from OK Used Cars and Trucks by Jackson Brothers by Philip Mason. And we also have Byrne Motor Company, which was at 740 West College, from W.H. Bill Gilliam. If anyone remembers those two, find a car from them. Now, those of us at the Rutherford County Historical Society know this book well, because we sell them. But this is the history of Rutherford County, which is also known as the Sims book. This was donated by Roy Tarwater. Oh my. Who's been to NASA in 1973? Now this, obviously, is a flag. Looks like it probably has the stick going up through it. Probably came from a parade here in town. Oh my. A brochure on Cummins Hall from MTSU, one of the high rises. The Honorable James H. Cummings. He was a state rep, state senator for about 140 years or so. We have, there's Ford's entry into the 1974 Thunderbird. And I'm sure that Alan Slater from the Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department probably had a 74 Maverick, didn't you? We have a brochure from Guarantee Federal Savings and Loan Association, their financial statement, but more importantly, there's a photo inside this guy. Don't worry, Bill, I'll have all these scanned in by Sunday. I'll be staying up late all weekend. The Southern Diplomat Restaurant. Who remembers the Southern Diplomat Restaurant? So, the Southern Diplomat, was that not over there on Clark? Yep, it is. It was on Clark and Memorial. And you could get, let's pick something. Tea, a pot of tea was 20 cents. The 74 Ford Gran Torino. Ford is represented again, this time with the LTD. We have a letter this time from the National Society of Daughters of the American Colonist. Daughters of the American Colonist. From Shawnee Mission, Kansas. It's not signed. Well, it does say it's to Miss Mary. So I'm assuming that's Miss Mary Hall. DAC, Daughters of American Colonists.
Mary Hall was a member.
What's good? Oh, we have a newspaper clipping that says, apparently there was a typo. Susan Daniel is a great historian for our county, right, Vicki? It's printed DAR, but it's scribbled out and says DAC. And there's a photograph. New officers of the Daughters of American Colonists. We have Miss A.W. Cranker, M.B. Murphy, Mrs. Charles B. Leatherman, and recording secretary Miss Sam Lane Jr. Oh my, Murfreesboro Bank and Trust, downtown Murfreesboro. And a 70, it says 74, the 74 Grand Prix. 6-foot hood on that thing. Oh, and for Mustang purists, sad day when they went to this body design for the Mustang. Pontiac Bonneville. Be careful, everyone. This is a Pinto. And another. Let's see what's in this big, thick envelope here. This is titled Oval Hessen, O-V-A-L, Hessen, at Byrne Motor Company, from the zone office in Atlanta, Georgia. You might know a car enthusiast comes after the Pinto. These appear to be certificates of something to O.L. Hessen for dealer conference and more stuff like that. Looky here, we have letterhead from Binford Motor Company, which was located at 755 Northwest Broad. The Binfords go quite a history in this town. More newspaper. Oh, here's an ad from Binford with the 74 LTD. I'm sure MPD had a lot of those on the road.
Yes, sir.
Murfreesboro Bank and Trust Bank Club invitation. This is from Mrs. Paul Dykes, D-Y-K-E-S, of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to Murfreesboro Garage number 1213, the agriculture room at MTSU. This is a very rusty resolution honoring the late James V. Threet, T-H-R-E-E-T. Signed by John Barber, the city recorder, and Alfred B. Huddleston and Tom Reed, city attorneys. Preliminary development plan for 1972 to 2000 for those of us that are on planning for Mid-Cumberland region of Tennessee. Oh my. One of my favorite organizations is the League of Women Voters. Right, Ms. Madeline? This is Know Your Local Government 1971. Let's pick one at random here. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan group. Is that the best way to describe it? They do wonderful work for local things. They have, here's something that's called the County Regional Planning Commission. Q.M. Smith was on it, Sterling Farmer, Earl Coleman, Pat Patterson, J.L. Ross, William Sellers, Hewlin Spicer, and Robert Stroop. This is a tract from John R. Rice. What must I do to be saved? Welcome to MTSU Campus Guide. Doesn't have a year, but we get the feeling we know a little bit about it. This is the campus map in 1973 or 4. That's it. Where's the rest of it, right? We have here basic industrial data of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, April 1972. I'm just going to read off just a couple of things here. The population, it says the population of Murfreesboro was roundly 19,000, 1960. 1960 for the county was 52,000. 52,000 for the county. Water and wastewater facilities plan for basically for Murfreesboro. And water resources of the Upper Stones River Basin. The Second Army was called the Second Army Corps somewhere in Tennessee. Very briefly, the Second Army Corps with a practice army. There were 800,000 soldiers from the 2nd Army Corps practiced in Middle Tennessee, mostly in Rutherford County. This is written by Gene Sloan, by the way. Former Rutherford County historian Gene Sloan. Let's go into this thing. There's a lot of stuff in here, Sergeant Evans. Oh my. This is the style of shoes most popular in the 50s and 60s. These shoes were worn to a wedding June 20th, 1964 by Miss Mary Hall. How about that? That's why this thing was so heavy.
That's it.
This brick was part of an old Presbyterian church, which stood on Vine Street in what is now known as the Old City Cemetery. The legislature of the state of Tennessee met in this old church building sometime around the year 1820. The old building was razed by the Union Army during the Civil War, and the bricks were carried away to build Fortress Rosecrans. This brick was in the possession of former historian Roy E. Tarwater. I'm going to point this at Councilman Smotherman. Preliminary planning for recreation and open space. I think it's the same plan we paid for again.
We're studying that.
Oh, looky here. This is a copy of I consider it to be one of the Bibles of Murfreesboro, the Hearthstones book. This looks like version 1. Here's a photo. This is a Rutherford County Courthouse when it was under federal occupation, 1864. City of Murfreesboro audited financial statements and other financial information. 1971. Did anyone go to jail that year? No. Whoop, just says Murfreesboro, Tennessee, but this plant location data from the Middle Tennessee Industrial and Development Association. This is from the Technical Assistance Project, which is still around, by the way, Regional Economic Development Center. Socioeconomic factors affecting human resource development in the Mid-Cumberland region of Tennessee. I think I have a copy beside my bed. Oh, where's Chief? Crime in the United States, 1972 Uniform Crime Reports. Kind of see it. It was a good year. We're almost there. Oh my, Smyrna, Tennessee city map. A Smyrna map. Let's see, which end is up here? Here we go. That's all of Smyrna right there, folks. 1973.
But there's the interstate.
There was an interstate, that's right. That's right. This is from the Rutherford County Historical Society when we used to put out, was it biannual? Twice a year?
Yeah.
Once a year? From 1973. That's the very first one. This is an original. A plug for the Historical Society. We still have these for sale for 50 cents. And they have a collection of stories, everything. There's no telling what's in there. And this has been in the news recently. This is a brochure on the Sinking Creek treatment facility. Sinking Creek, which is out off, help me out. Sulphur Springs Road, that's it. When it was brand new. More newspapers, Sword of the Lord, by Dr. John R. Rice. This is, I don't see a year, there it is, September 14th, 1973. Oh boy, here we go. Rutherford Courier again. This one, September 6th, 1973. And the headline is, Harvey's brand new Murfreesboro store opens today. Harvey's. But my kid, where was Harvey's? That's right, it's in Mercury Plaza. Harvey's. And not to be left out. The Daily News Journal from November 10th, 1972. November 10th, 1972. And the headline on this one is City Building Bid $629,000 to build the new police department. This is great. We have the Daily News Journal. Daily News Journal from July 16th, 1973. And folks, it says the Daily News Journal, July 16th, 1973, circulation was 11,702 papers every day. I don't know what those numbers are today. But the headlines, traffic accident hurts 5 people somewhere. One more newspaper. Oh boy, this is a good one here. This is February 12th, 1973, and it says that it has pictures of the groundbreaking, which I'll assume there's pictures of the groundbreaking of this structure that we're beneath right now. But it shows the 143 prisoners coming home from Vietnam. That's just pretty cool right there. This was the Rutherford County Survey in 1819. There's a great magazine that's still in existence called the Tennessee Conservationist. Boy, hate handling this barehanded. The Handbook of Murfreesboro, Tennessee from 1922. 1922. Oh my, it talks about public utilities, banks, the Kingswood Farm, so forth. This is a photo of the train, obviously. It's called the Rosebud. Brought Senator Baker and his campaign party through Murfreesboro November 1st, 1972. The postage stamp was issued in 73. I'm stuck. Oh my goodness. This is the bridge across the Stones River, just north of what's called Tuckertown. Who knows where Tuckertown is? Don't cheat. Tuckertown is on what we call West College now. So this is about where Redoubt Brandon is, which is part of the battlefield on West College. It stood till the early 20s when the new highway was built, which the new highway is now the old highway. Wow. No damage. This says, Dr. Pittard said it might be good for genealogical data. It says Chronicle of Murfreesboro Business and Professional Women's Club. Let's see here. Tentative budget for 1973. I don't know if this is county or city, but it's a tentative budget. We're almost to the bottom. Oh, it's unmarked. Don't tell the police I have a pocket knife. This is obviously something heavy called a book. I like to use the term Bible with a small b. This is considered the Bible when it comes to the history of Smyrna. This is the second edition, I think. Smyrna, the Town, the Church, written by Walter King Hoover. That is a treasure. We have an ice scraper from Roland Service Station. No address. By the way, this is this is from Dottie Matheny, Secretary and Treasurer of the Rutherford County Historical Society. These are copies of the frochips. Frochips. The frochips, which Miss Susan Daniel this is our bi-monthly publication from the Rutherford County Historical Society. Nowadays it's in a nice tabloid format, but in the day it was one page, legal sized. She has a lot of them in that little envelope. We have newspaper. Oh, this looks like stuff going on somewhere. This is the Daily News Journal, Sunday morning, August 19th. And honestly, I'm not sure why this is in here, but I'm sure here's some ads such as Katie Delbridge Fashions on 120 North Spring Street, Altman's Jewelers. Let's see here. Personal income estimates, Tennessee, Southeast in the nation. This is from the University of Tennessee, so for economic development, obviously. Housing element for Mid-Cumberland region. Okay, this is the last item, and something that the young folks, something like the young folks, like my kid, probably don't remember, the Sears catalog. How many of us couldn't wait for this to come out, or Montgomery Ward, or J.C. Penney? That is it, Sergeant Evans.
Frank, thank you.
Thank you.
I hope everybody enjoyed it today.
Yes. Thank you all.